What is up, everybody? It is my distinct pleasure to get back into the studio today to talk about my experience just looking at how all of my top applications, all of my top studio tools work on my brand new Apple M1 Mac Mini. And again, I'm not trying to advocate that you go buy this. I'm just showing you my experience with these particular tools. Today, we're looking at Maschine, particularly my experience using MASCHINE Mikro and the associated hardware as well, and just how all of that is working so far. And I gotta say, so far so good. There's a little bit of, I have to locate some things because there's certain libraries that I've moved around recently and kind of moved around to different drives just to make things a bit more efficient in the studio. But in general, so far, so good from a perspective of using the software and jumping right in and starting to create. Now, I have noticed an issue, I will say, when working inside of Maschine for a particular, session, and then, say, jumping into Pro Tools later on that day, and then jumping back into Maschine, sometimes the hardware does not seem to want to respond until I restart and just kind of reset everything. But other than that, my experience has been just buttery smooth. I mean, I would say that's really the only issue that I've encountered. And again, for software that's technically not supported, right? It's technically not working right now. It's working pretty darn well. It's working pretty well. So I'm just going to pull up a few things really just to show you guys my experience. I'm not going to make this video too terribly long. Just going to look at opening up a few projects at random. We'll look at the browsing features, just kind of show you around all of my most common functions that I do. I actually never really open up these projects or these test projects, so it is kind of cool to see the extent that some people go in arranging some of these things. So let's check out this one. So there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then another A. I mean, all the way through H, and then another A, like A2, B2. So it just goes on and on and on. And as you can see, everything's fully functional. All of the pad capability, if you want to jump into the keyboard mode for a particular thing, all of these functions work very well still. Switching between certain things, you want to, maybe go into the group mode and switch groups using the hardware, you know what I mean? So all of this stuff works really, really well, So you get a large, massive project in here. Of course, there's an ability to use, clips directly here in the timeline as well, which is pretty cool. Been experimenting with that. Yeah, maybe just opening up another project at random here. What do we got here? Hey, I'm hearing my audio actually through Maschine now as well. So there's an input that's capturing all of my microphone audio, which is interesting as well. So, as you can see, working pretty well. You know, I really can't complain so far. It's a nice, wild, like flangy effect on my voice right now. It's interesting. So if we start looking at just maybe opening up a group and start browsing, I always start in the A's. So I'm just gonna spin the Rolodex here and start with one at random. Whew, that one's noisy. That one's very, very noisy. So instead of opening up this project, I'm just going to start a new project. And that way we don't have that weird flangy thing going on with the voice. And also it just allows me to just kind of focus a bit more. So it's working pretty well. I mean, from what you guys could see, you know, it's easy to jump in. It's easy to jump right in and have fun. And that's typically what I use this for. I've really been using this as a creative tool to jump right in and try to, especially from a more electronic sonic characteristic with regard to rhythmic programming, drums, and also different, you know, melodic elements. You can jump in and make those kind of rhythmic as well, or trigger those things as well. So there's no limit to what you can really do on this thing. You can take any individual sound, spread it out across a keyboard, and have all sorts of capabilities to do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much ability to come in here and just, you know, compose, and that's why I use this thing. You know, it's in my top tools that I use for sure. So it lives right in here. And yeah, we'll probably maybe open up a couple, maybe just one more group, and then kind of call it a day. You know, what can I say? Working really, really well. And, you know, it's only going to get better. You know, what I assume as it becomes natively supported on the M1 chips, you know, performance, all that sort of stuff, switching between applications, maybe that won't be an issue anymore. In general, I have ran into no other issues. You know what I mean? Just like coming in and using all of my functions that I use, browsing through stuff, loading in sounds, loading in samples, recording, anything I use it for right now, it's 100% working really well. So buttery smooth, just like all of the other tools so far. And the journey continues. Can't wait to keep on pushing forward. Until next time.